forward. Okay. Okay, so like I said, this is the MNQ is the micro NASDAQ futures contract, right? So as you can see, it's MNQ for micro NASDAQ, and this is a 4-hour chart, okay? The, the trend lines that you're seeing here, they're just trend lines, okay? But I don't even have to use them right now. They just help. I'm going to delete all the trend lines except for the maybe 200.
Do you only trade off of NASDAQ or do you use VIX?
So I only use NASDAQ right now. Um, like I only really look at the NASDAQ basically. So because NASDAQ is basically all the AI companies, all the tech companies, which is what the economy is currently based on, right? And yes, you can and you should pair, other things when you reach that level of sophistication. But I'm just giving you a basic framing. How do I think the only thing is left that I want to take the chart. Okay, I just want to get rid of continuous contract trading canvas. Okay. Okay.
Do you have a pretty good sense of finding like bull flags?
Yeah, so
And
so let me explain, right? So the first and foremost thing for this is you just have to find a general direction. The longer time frame will tell you. We're using a 4-hour chart because it is a longer time frame. So what that means is, okay, so you see this red line, right? That's the 200 moving average. And once price crosses below it, it means we're like on a downtrend. So it crossed it down here, so the downtrend started like down here basically because it closed below the average and then it closed again, right? So we have a general situation here, which is basically down. And so now that we have a down, we're gonna have to count the number of zones that we have going on here. And let me start drawing some rectangles because drawing boxes is actually the long and the short of the strategy itself.
here's another question for you as
Yeah.
you draw these boxes. Um, as it goes down, do you buy puts?
Oh, yes. Well, it's a futures contract, so you buy contracts, right? And what they say is for every $1,000, no, for every $2,000 in capital that you have, you should maybe use one contract, one micro, right? So, so okay, great. So from the 4-hour chart, we found that we're in a downtrend because the 200 moving average is below it. Okay. So now that we know that our trend is basically low or going down, we now switch to the 1-hour chart to find our boxes or our zones. And I'm gonna delete these so that way I can just draw them again. And I'll explain like what the reasons basically of drawing them are. Okay. And these, I'll just get rid of this one. Okay. Delete everything. Remove. So our downtrend started when we started going down this way. Okay. And what we're doing is we're drawing boxes around swing points. Swing points are going to be basically like legs down. Like legs down. You see this leg down right here? There's one, there's another one, here's like another one. So I'm going to draw boxes around them. These are called swings. Let me see. Bam. Okay. So we found direction and we found a swing. The way the strategy works is very easy. It's you can already start framing a trade with this box. Okay. Okay. So
Just take it up.
how old?
Yeah.
Okay. The trade opportunity showed up on well, this one right here. This trade opportunity started in February, and this is February the 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah. So remember, like the downtrend started showing itself around, February the 2nd, right? Um, and so now that I marked my first swing point, what happens is this box is going to be a bear zone, which means it's going to be heading down or,
Yeah.
you know, and the trade opportunity is when price goes below, like when the candle closes below the swing zone and it goes back up to the 50% of the box. You see this line right here that marks the 50% of the red box?
I do.
So basically, like price goes below the swing point because it crashed down. And the trade opportunity is when price goes up and pulls back to the 50% of the swing zone, then you frame the trade here. Basically, what you can do is you can do a short position, right? At the 50%, boom, right? And the basic strategy is this, like the basic strategy is 50% of the zone. Okay. So, and what you do is you go 1 to 1. Okay. So what that means is uh, you enter on the 50% and then you aim for the bottom of the zone, right? Because the trend is down. So boom, you enter the trade.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt your flow, but how do
sure.
you purchase the contract for short?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it exactly that you got? It's much easier to do it on Coinbase, right? But I don't know if like just having a graphical interface while looking at the charts is a clusterfuck for me, and I don't know where to purchase the actual contracts
Okay,
for sorting.
right. So are you saying like what button you would press?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about that right now. This is the charting thing, right? Because what you're talking about is opening up a brokerage account where you can execute the trade. This is your charting software, which is different from your execution software, right? So this is the charting software is TradingView. You know, you can link that to your brokerage account, you know? So what you can do is open up a brokerage account and then you sync your TradingView to that brokerage account and you could execute on TradingView, for example, right? Or you could use the brokerage's platform to execute it on there. Um, what I'm showing you right now is just the strategy or the basics of the strategy. Yes?
I'm
Okay. So okay, yeah. So that's the swing point right here. Okay. And this is a 1 hour chart. The swing point is from like a low of this wick right here to the high And then when the price closes below the wick right here, that's when the box forms, the swing point forms. And so the strategy is basically once the price closes below the box and comes back up to the 50%, you take the trade off the 50%. And because you already know the direction, which is down, you aim for the bottom of the box.
I see.
You see, it's that's the basic. It's like this is caveman shit. You get me? Like the swing point is basically just like the change in the direction of the trend, right? Because this is where the structure was holding at the bottom of this wick right here. And then it went up
Yeah.
this high, but then price closed below it on the 1 hour. So one like there are multiple candles here that closed below the wick, which means the swing point or box was formed, right? And your whole strategy is when the price, because price likes to retrace every time, like it likes to like test back up where it came from. The strategy is basically once the box is formed, when the candle closes below the wick, you know, when you see price go up to the 50%, you take the trade off the 50% and aim for the bottom of the box, right? So that's one trade right there, okay? So let's
And it's the 4 hour view again. Again, it's the 4 hour view. So
right here. So
so
actually you can see what view we have, right? So I'll go back to the
okay, got it. Okay.
I'll go back to the 4 hour. Yeah, the purpose of going on the 4 hour is to find the direction. How do you find the
Okay. Yeah.
direction? You
Okay.
the
Never mind.
yeah, the candles go below the 200 moving average, right? So then once you find the general trend, you then go to the 1 hour to start looking for swing points, right? Or places where you can draw your box. So that's one trade right there, right? And so if you
And
mhm.
you can automate the selling of the contract um, at that certain point
Yes.
where it reaches below
Yeah.
the corner of the box.
Well, when it
Right.
reaches the
Yeah.
50%, when it goes back, yeah.
Yeah.
So
When it goes back
when
from
it goes, yeah, when it retraces up to the
yeah.
50%, you enter here and then you aim it down. So and
How do you do that? How do you automate? I guess what I'm asking for more so is how do you work with your brokerage account to
right,
make the purchases,
right.
but
So
also to
so
the automation of the purchase as
well,
well as the
well what I'm
selling of the contract.
right. So what I'm trying to say is TradingView is the charting platform, right? We're charting the
Yeah.
thing here. Now, what you can do is your execution platform is usually your brokerage account, right? Which is basically you take your TradingView account and you link it with your brokerage account so that when you're executing trades on TradingView, it executes them on your brokerage account. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And just to take a macro view, take a holistic view of Project Japan. That's something that I'd like to see in order to make up a sequence of events that need to happen and
Right.
at the instance for the codification.
Right. So, for example, let's see, indicators, no favorites, no. So, let me see. Okay, but so far, do you kind of get the strategy? Like, you find a place where you can draw a box, which is basically a swing point, and then you wait for the 50% tap, and then you aim for the bottom or the top of the box, right? That's basically that's the basics of it. I mean, I can frame a couple more here. Um, the like technically, mm, yeah. Let's see. What's another clear one? Okay, here's another clear one. So from this bottom right here to the top,
Yeah.
okay? So that's another swing point. okay? Because this is the bottom of it. It went higher, and then the candle closed below the box or below the swing point right here, or the price of this wick, okay? And then it went back up and tapped the 50%, so which means
Yeah.
you take another trade right there. Let's see, okay. Let's see, where's the short? Oh, short is over here. And the basic gist of it is you do a 1-to-1, which means your target is the bottom of the box and your stop loss is the top. That's the basics of it. There's other ways of doing it, or not the other ways of doing it, but like there's more refinement that we can do. I'm just showing you the caveman way of it. And actually, this swing point gives you two opportunities to take another trade, right? Because let's say you entered right here, you hit the target right there, right? So that was one successful tap of the 50. But then it comes back up, you know, and you can take a second one off of it. And that would be a second tap right there, right? Because it goes and it hits the target right there.
I'm following along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um so now this is yeah, so now this is where we are. And so I'm gonna erase these, right? Because these are bigger time frames, right? So now if we want to do some like this is an hour time frame, right? So it means like it could take weeks or maybe like a week to find one. You can actually go to a lower time frame, like 15 minutes, and start looking for zones, right? And here's an example of one. This is the one that I took today, or one of them that I took today, I believe. Uh,
Off the historical data or in real time?
no, this was like a real one that I did on the prop firm account.
Did you see the video that I sent you of Greg's trades?
Mm, I didn't get around to it. Was it good?
Well, it's like it's one thing for me, little old me, to
Hmm.
vouch for him, but he's Brandon Carter's chartered what's it called? He is the person that Brandon Carter goes for trades,
Mm.
and has been so for many years now, maybe 2 3 years now. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
worth taking a peek.
I this strategy is based on somebody that I've followed for a good while, and
Mm.
and so I'm like, this is the one that I'm using, because it's based off on a bunch of other stuff. I know it seems simple right now, but it's based
And
on other.
simple is better for
It is.
minimum viable product
It is.
to run historical data.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so I mean it's good enough to start. Yeah.
So, so like I said, this was the 15-minute chart. We were looking at the 1 hour chart, but now we're looking at the 15-minute chart. I'm gonna delete this big one. And here we have like another swing point, right? Because what happened was there was like a double top right here, and then the price closed below the wick of both of these, right? Like over here, right? It went down here, and then price went up to the 50, right? And we could have entered there. Here's a 50 tap entry, and then your stop is the top of the box, and the bottom, that's the target. So it's 1-to-1 risk, right? It's a 1-to-1 risk ratio.
Um, how many instances do you have
Hmm.
as examples saved when you were studying his box method, how many examples of these boxes do you have saved?
Um, like you can I've done this for a good while and it works. My problem is actually executing it and being patient and like not over managing things because that's where I get in trouble, right?
Sure, and let me also frame the reason that I ask
Uh-huh.
for that. Uh, in machine learning, you can train a model
Hmm.
on data. The more information that you give the model, the more references that it has of different manifestations of that instance to be more correct opposed to less data.
Yeah. Um, and um the thing about yes, I don't doubt it, by the way. But this is something that you don't necessarily require because it is just market structure. You don't necessarily require um, a lot of data machine learning. This is more of an algorithm with rules, um, which is kind of like saying the difference between principles to follow versus like lived experience. But yes, when you get to a higher level of sophistication, let's say your guiding principles are the rules of the boxes, and then you can layer on top of it some machine learning logic, which would be potentially helpful or interesting. So yes, you can get historical data and see how that is. There are some programs that you could buy to do like some back testing like this, um, and yeah. So
Cool.
so let's see. Okay, yeah. Here's another example of a box that could work or that worked. Oh, okay, so this you see this downtrend, right? We're down below the 200 moving average, so the trend is still going down, right? So another box that formed is right here. Let me do it. So from this bottom to this top, that's your new box because the trend held down and it broke below. It did a market structure break below this. So then you extend the box, right? And now this frames a trade that is still playing out, you know? It's because price went all the way down and it went back up here. So this is kind of still playing out. The thing is, the cool thing about this strategy is that you can actually make it work even if it doesn't hit the top or the bottom of it.
And that's because you're trading on the Nasdaq, right? And so you only lose if you sell it at a loss.
Uh, well, no, you don't want to like we're defining our risk one way or the other. Like the beautiful thing about the box is that you always have a stop loss and you always have a take profit. Okay. So you never not have a stop loss. You should always have a stop loss because it's if you don't, you're gonna lose. This strategy only works if you always have a stop loss. Um, so so here's the thing. You see how price went down and then went all the way back up here, and it
Yeah.
hit the 50, right? But it hasn't finished yet. It's still playing out, right? It's still playing out, right? The price is somewhere in the middle or back up to the middle. Well, the thing is today I did a trade simulation that basically like made this I made this trade that made like 1,000 like dollars or whatever. Okay. And the way that works is I refined it. Like I refined the oh shit. I refined the box because I have enough experience here that I could see that there was another box opportunity right here. And look what happened. It's like a fractal. And one of the points of the refinement is if you find a small box within a bigger box, you can take a lower risk trade. So level one is finding where the big boxes are. Level two is finding where the smaller boxes are. And if you can frame a trade from a smaller box within a big box, it lets you take a trade that's more likely to play out and is lower risk. Does that make sense? It's kind of like Inception. If you can go one level deeper, which means a box within a box, you can frame a trade with lower risk. For example, you see how I framed this smaller box?
Yeah.
I took a position off right here, the 50% of the smaller box, right? And instead of risking, 168 points like it shows right here, I only had to risk half of that, 80 points, right? And I hit the target of the smaller box. And that was like $1,000 because I used more contracts, right? So instead of using a little bit of contracts, I used a few more contracts and it was like more money, right? So does that make sense? The first level is finding the big boxes. The second level of refinement is finding where the smaller boxes are. And if you can find a smaller box within a big box, you can frame a trade with lower risk because price doesn't have to move as far. You see, it doesn't have to go to all the way to the other side of the box that is bigger.
Here,
Yeah.
because you have been studying this for years now, and so I don't want to overcomplicate
Uh-huh.
this in my own mind.
Yes.
Um, so we'll get back to this as soon as possible. But for now, I think that's everything that I need in order to come up with the architecture, but also come up with the basic algorithm in order to get the computer to understand what it's looking for at the most basic level.
Yes. The big points is that we are using swing points. The boxes are called swing points. So if you're using swing points on market structure, you just you frame trades off the 50% of the swing point. And the level two of it is, and time's going to run out, but um, level two is if you find a smaller swing point on a lower time frame, right? Then you can also frame a trade because the price on these charts is fractal according to time. So they repeat and they repeat like Russian dolls. The price patterns repeat like Russian dolls on smaller time frames, smaller and smaller, but it's like similar price action. So that's why this generally works on the NASDAQ. And you can do this on gold too. Like I can pull up a gold chart and it'll work on gold.
Now let's stick with NASDAQ. Like if we have one winning strategy.
Yeah. No, well, it's the same strategy. It's the same strategy. You can just use you know, you can just use the same strategy for that. Like here's one example of the box again. Like over here. This is a bear one right there. This is gold, by the way. This is gold on the 15-minute. So price went all the way down here on a bear trend. It went up, but then it broke down again, right? When it breaks down right here, the price closes down right here. That's when you be able to drop the box. Like the box appears right there, like right when price breaks below the wick. That's where the box appears, and you extend it. So price goes up to the 50, and then sorry, go ahead.
So can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you write up what you would like to see a ideal AI do in order to help you win more of these same trades?
I'm confused. I don't know what you're asking.
Yeah, sure. So, um,
So does this make sense? Like, do
it does.
okay.
It does. But you know what? I'll talk to you more. If not tomorrow, we work at the same spot. I'm gonna begin working on my automations for mortgages.
Hmm.
And but I think that's all for now, dude. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I obviously would need more time to have you be able to see it like a little more or like how to find the boxes yourself. Um, but once you are able to find the boxes, you just literally frame them from the 50%. With more sophistication, you can do more refinement and you can do some nuances that gives you more opportunities, which I can explain another time. So hopefully, I think for now, like you said, the basics are enough. And yes, I would like to share more. But yes, with this information, for the most part, it's good enough to do sort of like a minimum strategy, right?
Cool. With um with my last bit of tokens that I have for this month, I will create an MVP in order to kind of see if we can get something going.
Okay. Do you have any questions or that would help you like um
Not right now.
like any term? Okay, sure, sure.
Not right now. And the reason being is because no matter if you're a novice or a master at
Hmm.
um, developing uh, deployable systems,
Hmm.
it's always some sort of fucketry. If that makes sense, there's always debugging. So
Yeah,
so I prefer to just create a minimum viable product, release it, and see what mistakes it has,
sure.
and then work from there.
I think that makes
Because
sense.
if we try to create something complex right now,
Hmm.
we will run into problems that we didn't foresee. And this is just a part of what's called the CIDI, continuous innovation and continuous deployment,
Well,
which is
it's
the framework.
continuous iteration. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah. So
yeah.
cool. Well, when you so like I said, tomorrow I'm free, so if you wanted to do another Zoom, you let me know. But that's all for now. Um, and like I said, uh, given one or two more sessions like this, you'll be able to draw these yourself. Like it becomes really easy to see. Um, but having like a tool that helps you execute it kind of like helps you sleep easier at night, right?
It, I mean, dude, not only me, but my family. So thanks, man.
Say again?
Not only me, but my family as well, man. So thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
My girlfriend wants to show off that she has a brokerage account. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's fucking cool. Hell yeah.
she's balling.
Dude, love them lady bosses, you know? Let me see. But yeah, these this shit is fractal, so there's always an opportunity almost every day, right? Just have to know how to capitalize on it.
All right, my brother.
Oh, hi guys.
Dude,
I see you now.
how's it
Amazing.
going, dude?
It's not a bad gig, you know?
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it's not a bad gig. But yeah, cool. That's all. And like I said, I'm this is something that I'm learning to just normalize for myself manually. That way I
Dude,
can.
after seeing Greg trade $26 and make it into fucking $700, it makes me angry that I'm not a part of that.
Okay.
So
Don't
like
literally.
I wanna
Sorry, go ahead.
integrate this into not completely immediately because the other things take precedence that
Yeah.
I've already had the ball rolling on, but definitely this year, dude. So, dude,
Yeah, bro. I mean,
yeah,
no better time to be honest, right?
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
So
cool.
my battery's gonna die, man. So,
Totally.
yeah, I'm at 7% right now.
Well, get some rest soon and talk to you later.
Sure, and then hit up that lady for the.
You know what? I did,
Yeah,
but she only says she has graveyard, and to be honest, I'm not gonna do that. So
for sure, for
that
sure.
that's just my me personally. So
Keep sending you few other ones that come to me.
bro,
Yeah,
bro, thank you for sure.
come on, dude. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and yeah, and if you want me to break down this more and stuff another time or whenever you're more open to it, for sure. All right, peace. Bye.
Peace.
Close down.